In a quiet village nestled between lush green forests and rolling hills, there lived a young man named Arjun. The village of Sundarganj was surrounded by towering trees that whispered secrets in the wind, and a river that glowed under the golden sun. The villagers were kind-hearted, but life was not always easy. Most of them depended on farming, and their survival depended on nature's mercy. Arjun was different from the others. While most villagers accepted their struggles as fate, he believed that a person's thoughts could shape their future. His mother, an old woman with kind eyes, had once told him, "A positive mind is like a bright lamp in the darkest night." Arjun carried those words in his heart. One year, the village faced a terrible drought. The once flowing river had dried to a thin trickle, the trees stood lifeless, and the crops withered under the blazing sun. The villagers grew desperate. They prayed to the gods, but no rain came. Fear spread like wildfire. Without water, their animals would die, and their families would starve. The village elders gathered in the central square, under the shade of a grand banyan tree. Their faces were grim as they spoke. "We must leave Sundarganj," an elder declared. "This land is cursed now. We must move to another place." Many villagers nodded in agreement, but Arjun stood up. "No. We cannot run away from our home. We must believe that we can change our fate." The elders sighed. "But how, Arjun? We have no rain, no food, and no hope." Arjun took a deep breath and looked at the lifeless trees, the cracked earth, and the river that had almost disappeared. "We can bring back the rain," he said confidently. The villagers looked at him as if he had lost his mind. "How can we, when the sky refuses to help us?" one man asked. Arjun knew that nature responded to those who respected it. He had read old scriptures and learned that forests attracted rain. "We must plant trees," he announced. "If we grow a new forest, the rains will return." The villagers laughed. "Plant trees in this heat? They will die before they grow." But Arjun did not give up. He went to the forest, where the few surviving trees still stood tall. He collected seeds, digging into the dry earth with his bare hands. He carried buckets of water from the remaining trickle of the river and poured them onto the parched soil. At first, he worked alone. Every morning, he walked miles to gather saplings and plant them along the riverbank. Days turned into weeks. His hands became rough, his body tired, but his spirit never wavered. One day, an old farmer named Raghav watched Arjun struggling under the scorching sun. Inspired by his determination, he joined him. "If a young man like you can have faith, why can't I?" he said, picking up a shovel. Little by little, others followed. The children ran around, dropping seeds into the soil.